Welcome to True Crime Pulse. In this episode, we dive into the quiet town of New Canaan, Connecticut. The disappearance of Jennifer Dulos shocked the community and ignited a relentless investigation. On May 24, 2019, Jennifer vanished without a trace, leaving behind only haunting questions and a trail of evidence. Her estranged husband, Fotis Dulos, and his girlfriend, Michelle Troconis, quickly became the primary suspects in a case that would unravel dark secrets and expose a chilling plot. The investigation into Jennifer's disappearance would lead to shocking revelations, intricate lies, and a quest for justice that would captivate the public. What began as a missing persons case soon became a murder investigation with devastating consequences. Jennifer Dulos seemed to live a life others envied. A brilliant writer, a loving mother, and a devoted wife, she appeared to have it all: wealth, intelligence, beauty, and an ambitious husband by her side. Her life seemed picture perfect, a dream fulfilled. But perfection, as it often is, was an illusion. Beneath the veneer of happiness, trouble brewed. A marriage strained by tension and mistrust was on the brink of collapse. In a desperate attempt to protect herself and her children, Jennifer made the brave decision to leave her husband, taking the kids with her. But even in separation, peace eluded her. When she vanished, it was clear she hadn't chosen to disappear. What became of Jennifer Dulos, the accomplished writer and devoted mother? Where did she go? And what role did her husband play in her tragic fate? This is the heart-wrenching story of Jennifer Dulos. Jennifer Farber was born in 1968 in New York City, into a world of privilege and opportunity. Her father was a prominent banker, and her mother was deeply involved in philanthropy. Her family's connections extended into the world of fashion. Her aunt by marriage, Liz Claiborne, founded a namesake global fashion brand. Jennifer grew up surrounded by creativity, affluence, and high expectations. Her intelligence and ambition were evident early on. Jennifer excelled in school, and when the time came to choose a university, she had her pick of Ivy League institutions. She ultimately chose Brown University, where she graduated in 1990 with a degree in English. Jennifer continued her education, earning a master's degree in creative writing from an esteemed arts university in New York. Jennifer was a storyteller at heart. She immersed herself in the vibrant literary scene of 1990s New York, crafting plays that reflected her fears and vulnerabilities. Her work often delved into themes of love, commitment, and honesty, issues she grappled with in her own life. Despite her professional accomplishments, Jennifer struggled to find the lasting romantic connection she yearned for. By the late 1990s, disheartened by her lack of romantic success, Jennifer left New York for the countryside. Her dreams of a perfect life seemed increasingly distant. Little did she know, she had already encountered the man who would forever alter her future: Fotis Dulos. Fotis Dulos was born in Istanbul, Turkey in 1967 to Greek parents. At the age of 7, his family relocated to Athens, where he grew up. Fotis was ambitious and restless, eager to explore the world beyond Greece. His determination brought him across the Atlantic to Brown University in 1985, where he pursued his undergraduate degree. It was during her first week at Brown in 1986 that Jennifer met Fotis. Their connection was undeniable, but their lives pulled them in different directions. Fotis graduated in 1989 and went on to earn an MBA in finance from Columbia University. He married another Brown graduate, Hilary Aldama, in 2000. Fotis thrived professionally, climbing the ranks in the corporate world and living a life of luxury. Known for his love of the finer things, and was described by a friend as someone who always sought the best, whether it was ski equipment, cars, or experiences. But his marriage to Hilary was turbulent, marked by tensions between their ambitious personalities. In 2003, Jennifer and Fotis's paths crossed again, this time at an airport in Aspen. Their old chemistry reignited, and sparks flew. By January 2004, Fotis, amid his divorce from Hilary, reached out to Jennifer. In her blog, Jennifer reflected on their bond: "We had always shared something special, until lightning finally struck." Just 1 month after Fotis finalized his divorce, he and Jennifer tied the knot in a lavish ceremony in Manhattan. Jennifer believed she had finally found her happily ever after, a loving husband and the family she had always dreamed of. But the seeds of discord were already sown. Fotis's charm masked deeper flaws, and their marriage, like his first, was destined for turmoil. Jennifer, blinded by love and hope, couldn't have known the tragic fate that awaited her. Jennifer Dulos seemed to have it all: a charismatic, athletic, and seemingly devoted husband, a large family, and a lifestyle most would envy. After their marriage, the couple moved to the idyllic town of Farmington, Connecticut. It was here that Fotis, Jennifer's husband, launched his own luxury home construction business, bolstered by significant financial support from Jennifer's wealthy banker father. On the surface, their life appeared perfect, but cracks soon began to show. Jennifer struggled to adjust to life in Farmington. Isolated from her social circle, she found it difficult to make friends in the new town. Her social interactions were mostly confined to Fotis' friends, and she often participated in activities he enjoyed, such as water skiing, even though she despised it. Meanwhile, her interests, including her passion for writing, were relegated to the background. A novel she had started was abandoned and left in a drawer, a poignant symbol of the sacrifices she made for her family and marriage. Fotis' personality and work habits further strained their relationship. He was described as disorganized and prone to chaotic, last-minute approaches to his business. Stress compounded as the couple struggled to have children. They eventually turned to medical interventions, which led to the birth of twins in 2006. While this milestone brought joy, it also marked the beginning of new challenges. Over the next several years, the family grew to include 5 children, including 2 sets of twins. Jennifer poured herself into raising them, ensuring they had an enriching childhood filled with activities such as horseback riding, art classes, and water skiing, one of Fotis' passions. Despite these efforts, life became increasingly overwhelming for Jennifer. The children's demanding schedules left her with little time for herself. Adding to her stress, Fotis' business required the family to frequently move between homes, creating a sense of instability. The couple's relationship became strained under the weight of these pressures, and arguments became more frequent. In 2012, Jennifer hinted at her unhappiness in a blog post, writing, "I wish I were a stronger person, and that confrontation didn't both scare and appall me." These words underscored her growing despair and her struggle to maintain a facade of normalcy. Their marriage began to unravel further when Fotis started exhibiting troubling behavior. He pushed the children to excel in competitive water skiing, ignoring their exhaustion and reluctance. Jennifer confided in her writing that the children were physically and emotionally exhausted, and pleaded with her to intervene. She wrote, "We are all terrified to disobey my husband. Fotis' aggression extended beyond the family. He once assaulted a parking attendant at her parents' apartment complex." These incidents painted a troubling picture of a household under siege. In 2017, the situation reached a breaking point. Amid Jennifer's grief over her father's death, Fotis disclosed that he was having an affair with Michelle Troconis, a marketing executive and advanced skier from Venezuela. Jennifer was devastated, especially when Fotis suggested that Michelle move into their home. He rationalized this by pointing out the house's size, but for Jennifer, the idea was unthinkable. Despite this betrayal, Jennifer initially tried to hold the marriage together for the sake of their children. Fotis' increasingly reckless behavior, however, left her with no choice but to act. In violation of an agreement to keep their home free of firearms, Fotis purchased a 9mm Glock and showed it to the children before informing Jennifer. This blatant disregard for her concerns and the safety of their family terrified her. In June 2017, under the cover of night, Jennifer gathered her children and fled to a rental home in New Canaan, leaving behind the life she had built with Fotis. The following day, Jennifer filed for divorce, citing Fotis' aggressive behavior and alleging that he had threatened to kidnap the children if she didn't comply with his demands. In her filing, she wrote, "I know that filing for divorce and filing this motion will enrage him. I know he will retaliate by trying to harm me in some way." The divorce proceedings became bitter and contentious. While they were initially granted joint custody, Jennifer successfully petitioned for emergency sole custody in 2018 after Fotis violated court orders by involving Michelle in the children's lives and coercing them to lie about it. By 2019, Fotis' life was unraveling. His business was struggling, and Jennifer's mother sued him for $1.7 million a loan given to him by Jennifer's late father. With his finances and reputation in shambles, Fotis became increasingly desperate and angry. In May of that year, tensions between the couple reached a new high. Jennifer refused to allow the children to visit Fotis and Michelle to say goodbye to the family's terminally ill dog. This decision enraged Fotis and Michelle, foreshadowing the tragic events that were to come. On May 24, 2019, Jennifer was last seen dropping her children off at school in New Canaan around 8 a.m. Surveillance footage captured her returning home shortly afterward. She had 2 medical appointments scheduled in New York City that day, but she never arrived at either. Concern grew when Jennifer's nanny, Lauren Almeida, arrived at the house later that morning and noticed unusual signs. Jennifer's purse was on the floor. Her tea was left untouched. Only a few paper towels were remaining. That evening, Jennifer's SUV was found abandoned near Waveney Park in New Canaan. Police discovered bloodstains in the garage, on Jennifer's car, and inside the home, all matching Jennifer's DNA. Additionally, traces of blood on the kitchen faucet matched both Jennifer's and Fotis' DNA, suggesting an attempt to clean up the scene. Despite these discoveries, Jennifer was nowhere to be found. Jennifer Dulos' disappearance marked the beginning of a harrowing investigation into her life, marriage, and the events leading up to that fateful day. As the evidence against Fotis mounted, the world watched, horrified, as the facade of a seemingly perfect life crumbled to reveal a dark and tragic reality. On May 26, at 3:56 p.m., police began an extensive search of a sprawling 300-acre park in their efforts to locate Jennifer Dulos. The search continued methodically, but as the hours turned into days without any sign of Jennifer, investigators expanded their focus. By 4:03 p.m. that same day, they began examining areas in the vicinity of properties owned by her estranged husband, Fotis Dulos. Law enforcement knew the statistics. When a married woman disappears under suspicious circumstances, the husband is often the prime suspect. This case, marked by an acrimonious divorce and escalating tensions between Jennifer and Fotis, placed him squarely in the spotlight. Fotis did little to dispel the cloud of suspicion around him. His behavior seemed calculated and, at times, evasive. New evidence began to emerge, much of it drawn from the pervasive surveillance systems common in affluent neighborhoods like New Canaan, Connecticut. High-value properties in the area were equipped with state-of-the-art security systems, including doorbell cameras and street-facing CCTV. This network of surveillance would later play a crucial role in reconstructing the events of May 24th, the day Jennifer vanished. The footage told a chilling story, as clear as an eyewitness account. At approximately 7:30 p.m. on May 24th, a black Ford Raptor pickup truck registered to Fotis Construction Company was captured on Albany Avenue in Hartford. The truck's bed was loaded with multiple trash bags. As the vehicle traveled down the street, it briefly disappeared from the camera's view. When it reappeared moments later, several trash bags were missing. The footage also showed a man later identified as Fotis exiting the truck and methodically placing a bag into a trash can. This sequence repeated multiple times along a stretch of Albany Avenue. Accompanying Fotis in the vehicle was Michelle Troconis, his then-girlfriend. The pair's actions strongly suggested they were attempting to dispose of something incriminating in a piecemeal manner, likely in an effort to avoid detection. The contents of those trash bags proved crucial to the investigation. Police searched the trash cans along Albany Avenue and recovered a trove of damning evidence. Among the items were cleaning supplies, clothing stained with Jennifer's blood, and zip ties. These discoveries were enough to elevate Jennifer's disappearance to a suspected homicide and led to the arrests of both Fotis and Michelle. Investigators pressed forward, executing a search warrant at Fotis' home in Farmington, Connecticut. There they uncovered more troubling evidence: a handwritten alibi script. This document detailed a timeline of both Fotis and Michelle's movements on May 24th and 25th. However, the script notably omitted their evening trip to Hartford, where they had been seen discarding trash. Michelle later claimed the script had been requested by Fotis' lawyer, but its inaccuracies and omissions raised significant red flags. As police interviewed Michelle, her initial shock appeared genuine. Yet, her story quickly unraveled under scrutiny. Over the course of 3 interviews, her account shifted, often contradicting both herself and Fotis. When asked about the morning of May 24th, Michelle initially claimed that Fotis had been home with her, waking together at 6:40 a.m. However, cell phone records painted a different picture. Fotis' phone alarm had been deactivated at 4:21 a.m., indicating he had been awake and active much earlier. Confronted with this evidence, Michelle revised her statement, eventually admitting that Fotis had not been home when she awoke. Surveillance footage further dismantled Fotis' alibi. Cameras captured a cyclist, later identified as Fotis, riding toward Jennifer's home in New Canaan at 7:31 a.m. on May 24th. Around the same time, his employee's black pickup truck was spotted driving toward Waveney Park, where it was parked in a wooded turnoff. This same location would later become significant as the place where Jennifer's abandoned Chevy Suburban was discovered. The truck bed, initially empty when Fotis parked, was later used to transport Jennifer's body, according to prosecutors. Jennifer was last seen alive at 8:05 a.m. when she returned home after dropping her children off at school. By 10:25 a.m., her Suburban was captured on surveillance leaving her driveway, but it was not Jennifer behind the wheel. In the 2 hours and 20 minutes between these events, prosecutors allege that Jennifer was brutally murdered by Fotis. They theorized that he restrained her with zip ties before stabbing her and attempting to clean up the scene using 10 rolls of paper towels, which were later found missing from her home. After the murder, Fotis reportedly loaded Jennifer's body and his bicycle into her Suburban, driving to the wooded turnoff where he transferred both into the black pickup truck. He left Jennifer's car with its lights on, staging the scene to suggest she had been abducted in haste. Despite their calculated efforts to dispose of evidence and create diversions, Fotis and Michelle could not escape the mounting physical evidence. DNA analysis, bloodstains, and surveillance footage painted an inescapable narrative. Even more disturbing was the discovery of a shallow grave near a gun club associated with Fotis' attorney, Kent Mawhinney. Although the grave contained no remains when police investigated, its presence along with 2 bags of lime, a substance used to accelerate decomposition, added another sinister layer to the case. Fotis' legal team floated a sensational defense, suggesting Jennifer had staged her own disappearance in a Gone Girl-style plot to frame Fotis as revenge for his infidelity. This theory relied heavily on Jennifer's past writings about her failing marriage, but it crumbled under the weight of hard evidence. Public opinion turned decisively against Fotis, and by January 2020, he was indicted for Jennifer's murder. Faced with the likelihood of life in prison, Fotis died by suicide in a dramatic and defiant act, leaving behind a note proclaiming his innocence. Michelle, however, faced trial in early 2024. In March, she was convicted on all charges, including conspiracy to commit murder, tampering with evidence, and hindering prosecution. The strength of the prosecution's case, which secured her conviction despite the absence of Jennifer's body or a murder weapon, underscored the thoroughness of the investigation and the certainty of her involvement. Jennifer's tragic story is a stark reminder of the horrors of domestic violence and the resilience of justice. While Fotis' death deprived Jennifer's family of full closure, Michelle's conviction brought some measure of accountability. Still, Jennifer's remains have never been found, leaving an enduring void for those who loved her. Her case stands as both a cautionary tale and a testament to the tenacity of those who seek the truth, even in the face of unspeakable tragedy. Thank you for watching True Crime Pulse. Share your thoughts on the story in the comments section, like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time when we bring you more crime stories, stay safe. Thank you.